24 hours with JB. Let's talk. Salute to anybody out there chasing their dreams. Salute to anyone out there chasing their goals. Salute to anybody out there breaking generational curses. Salute to anybody out there going to therapy. Salute to anybody out there who's doing the work, right? And the reason why I'm sending salutations today is because I know firsthand the work that I'm doing, right? It will be beneficial. It is beneficial, yes. But the mindset, the grind, the grit, the determination, the steady working on yourself internally as well as externally, so that pulchritudinous is what people see when they see you. Beloved, it's not easy, beloved. Like, I literally have to talk to myself at times. Sometimes I'm in the shower. Sometimes I'm driving. Sometimes I could be doing whatever, and I'm literally talking to myself to break those mental chains, right? To break those mental barriers, to not compare myself to other individuals, right? Now, don't get it twisted. I do seek motivation from other individuals, especially someone who has reached a level in which I haven't reached in life, or even someone who may be dressed better than me at the time, or even someone who walks or talk different. Beloved, I'm always seeking motivation or inspiration in some form of fashion to push me further and further along the successful route, yes. But when it's just me alone in a room, beloved, I have to understand what I want to do in life and what I want to be, beloved. And in order for me to understand that process, right, oftentimes I have to like almost go crazy. I guess only my true entrepreneurs know what it is that I'm referring to, because the thing about that entrepreneurial route or just that successful route, you're betting on yourself. You're literally rolling the dice on yourself. And if you don't have a mean team, if you don't have other individuals that are betting on you as much as you're betting on them, as much as you all are betting on the process, beloved, you're going to have to walk and talk a lot differently, beloved. You're going to have to work overtime, beloved. You're going to have to miss out on those parties, those events, those basketball games, those watch parties, because you have to truly know deep down inside that you're destined for this. And that's where I'm currently at with it, beloved. I don't feel normal. In fact, I know that I'm abnormal, which is why I walk around with this light, right? With this sunshine, with this illumination, because I'm putting in work on Jaquan Businessman Bailey every single day. There's not a day that goes by that I'm not finding out how to better myself, that I'm not looking in the mirror to ask myself, what are you going to do today? What are you going to accomplish today? How are you going to change your kid's life today? How can you potentially impress your wife today? And that's where it stops. Notice I kept it only within my household, because that's what I know. Those are the individuals and whom I'm around on a daily basis. Those are the individuals that cheer for me, whether they see their father or husband in rags or riches, right? No matter who Jaquan Businessman Bailey wakes up to be, my tribe pushes me. And with that push, it causes me to morph into something extravagant, morph into something immaculate. But again, beloved, don't get it twisted. With that push comes a great deal of fortitude on my behalf. Reason being, I have to make sure I go get that dinner to bring it back to my tribe to eat. And with that being said, throughout the process of me finding that food, I now have to say, damn, does my family deserve McDonald's or a 5-star black-owned restaurant? Which one? And either way, whatever decision in which I choose to make, I'm sure you know that it's the Black-owned 5-star restaurant. But throughout that process of me going to hunt that food, of me going to put that work in, again, I have to psych myself out because I know that I could potentially post this video even and not receive a like. And I know that non-validation, I know that non-recognition could potentially deter me from where my family or my tribe rather needs me to be. So thus, I have to work overtime. Thus, I have to look myself in the mirror and or a camera and talk to myself so that myself could say back to myself, listen, Jay, you've been at this for quite some time. And where you're at right now, certain days it may not seem as if it's working, but I'm here to tell you first and foremost, I remember when you doubted yourself. I remember when you knew there was something off mentally, but you were scared to get the help. I remember your first therapy session. I remember the time you walked out in the midst of an argument or debacle between your wife, and you knew deep down in your heart she could have easily left you, but she decided to stay. So thus you looked yourself in the mirror and asked, why did she stay? We're going to talk today, beloved. And no, I'm not talking about cheating. No, I'm not talking about cheating, because loyalty over everything. But with that being said, I'm finding myself nowadays having to just put myself in the corner and talk to myself. Where you at, Jaquan? What is it that you want? What is it that you want to do? What is it that you're willing to do? What is it that is going to, what is it that you can do that can shock you and move the entire chessboard so that you're not playing in that same park that you previously was? No, beloved, you're now playing in a whole nother country, along with your family, along with your tribe, while staying morally intact. Beloved, when you decide to make that pillage, right? When you decide to run full speed, to sprint to that finish line or jog perhaps, you have to understand that that process is not going to be like this. Certain days are going to be easier than others. A lot of people that you think are going to be in your corner, they're not going to be there. In fact, certain people may even start to overlook your potential, overlook your success, right? To the point where you're having a conversation with a person and they ask you what's going on, what's new. Meanwhile, you just shot like 30 videos. You know for a fact they've seen at least 10 of them. So now, do you dim your light to make that person feel secure, or to bring yourself down to where that person is currently at, which is a low vibration? Or do you say, listen, that person may be going through what they're going through, but which essentially has nothing to deal with me, but what I'm going through is greatness. What I'm going through is resiliency. What I'm going through is persistency, right? And with that persistency comes results. And what do those results entail? Beloved, that's up to you. Because as long as you put the work in, you know that there's light at the end of the tunnel. As long as you put the work in, you know there'll be gains at the end of the month. As long as you put the work in, you know those dividends are going to come in. As long as you put the work in, you know that you'll be on your second or third business right before everybody's eyes and people will still treat you regular. But no, beloved, you don't get upset. You stay in the pocket. You stay locked in. You stay 10 toes down, because when you're at that book signing event, when you're on those stages talking, when you're in schools around the world being as great as you knew you was all along, those same people will pop up out the weeds and say, hey, I knew, but you didn't, beloved. There's close to nobody shooting in the gym with me right now, beloved. And with that lack of a team, let's just say, it forces me to be the best that I could possibly be. It forces me to rise above. It forces me to wake up early and go to sleep late and drink alkaline water. Have your investments. We got to